Hello, dear students. Today we are here for the topic polymorphism and abstract class. This is our fourth class in object-oriented programming, Unit 3 of the syllabus PGDBI. Polymorphism. Polymorphism is one of the special features of object-oriented programming. Here, poly means many and morph means names. Polymorphism actually, it is another feature which is very much related to resource sharing and reusability. Reusability, that means once the code is written, it can be used later on in many different classes, many different programs. So the concept of superclass and subclass you have already got in the earlier classes. Here, if the person in the picture, if you see, the person is instructing all the animals to speak, then there are different animals, duck, wolf, and cat. So they will respond differently. For example, this is the quack sound. This is the wolf sound. And this cat will respond in this way. So when this instruction comes from the person that speak, then different animals will act differently. So this is the whole meaning of the polymorphism. Here, superclass is the person who is giving the instruction, and subclasses like duck, wolf, and this cat. So subclasses have to follow this interface inheritance, and they are also permitted to provide their own implementations. So this is overriding. We will cover that in the later slide. Polymorphism, the definition, if we see, polymorphism is the provision of a single interface to entities of different types, or the use of a single symbol to represent multiple different types. Polymorphism, if we see the different types of polymorphism here, polymorphism are of two types. One is compile time polymorphism, one is runtime polymorphism. Again, if we see here, there are two types of compile time polymorphism. One is method overloading, another is operator overloading. And in the runtime polymorphism, there is only one branch, which is virtual function, or in Java, we can say it's virtual methods. Compile time polymorphism means the polymorphism which occur during compilation. As you know, there are three phases of programming: writing of programs, compilation, and execution. In the compilation part, the computer converts the higher level program to lower level or machine level program. So during compilation, it checks the errors, and in the debug process, the errors are rectified. When there is no error, the compilation will be successful. So that was the step in compilation. And after compilation, the program file becomes object file, and object files are then linked with library files, and we get executable file. Executable files are then loaded into main memory. Once the loading is over, then the program will automatically start. So these are the phases of programming. So compilation is very clear. There is a compiler. So in case of Java programming, Java compiler is there. JVM is also there, Java Virtual Machine. So we are writing some code in Java, and the Java compiler and JVM, they are converting it to object file of Java program. So whatever changes are there in compilation, these are all static. What does it mean? Static means, suppose we have declared a variable int a. So the value of a is not yet decided, but during compilation, the computer fixes a initial value of that particular variable. So that is the static assumption of the variable. But during runtime, actual value of the variable will come and it will be stored in A. So here we are having method overloading. How a method is overloaded. When there are multiple methods with same name but different parameters, then these methods are said to be overloaded. That means here in the diagram you can see there is a class named same class, and from there are three member methods: method X, method XY, method XYZ. You can see here all the methods, they have same name but different parameters. Here in the first method only one parameter X, in the second parameter X and Y, in the third method we have X, Y and Z. So three methods, same name but different parameters. So this way we will proceed for method overloading. And how method overloading actually works: when suppose user is calling with only two parameters, so method number 2 will be called. When the user is calling the method with only one parameter, the first method will be called. And when there will be three parameters in the calling method, then the third method will be called. So here we are having one example. There is a class multiply methods, and within that class two multiply methods are there. One is with two integers, which is returning the product of A and B, and another multiply method is there where three parameters are there: int A, int B and int C, and it is returning A into B into C. That means product of the three integers. Now we are coming to the main method. Main method is actually calling the first method with two parameters 2 and 4. So the result will be 8, because 2 into 4 is equal to 8. And second method, here you can see it's calling the same method multiplied by, but with three parameters in this time: 2, 7 and 3. So second method will be called in this line. So ultimately the result will be 2 into 7 into 3. That means 14 into 3, 42. So this is one simple method overloading example. You can see the output in the link I have shared earlier. Here we are having operator overloading. Operator overloading, what do you mean by operator? There are different types of operator in programming languages. Like arithmetic operators, there are plus, minus, into, divide. There are other operators also. like if statement, if else statement, they are also operators. Then different operators are there, like plus increment operator, minus, that means decrement operator, conditional operator. Many operators are there, logical operators are there. So different operators are there, but in Java only plus can be overloaded. That means arithmetic sum or arithmetic plus operator can be overloaded only. Here, if we write a plus b, that means it will add two integers. At the same time, if we want to add two strings containing two different set of characters, that also can be added using plus operator, which is called as concatenation. So to concatenate two strings, there will be two strings, suppose string 1 and string 2, and the expression will be just like the addition of two numbers. Here string 3 is equal to string 1 plus string 2. So new string will be there. We will see the example of operator overloading. Here you can see operator, there is a class operator over DDN, and this is operator method, and here string s is equal to string 1 plus string 2, where string 1 and string 2 both are the inputs of this method. And concatenated string will be the s. Another method is there which is taking two integers, c is equal to a plus b, and system.out.println sum is equal to c. That means it is just displaying the sum of the numbers. Then we are having the main method in the program, and it's creating one object from that class, obj, and obj is calling operator 2 3. So when there will be 2 3, that means two integers, it will automatically call the second method. And when the object is calling operator with two strings, here you can see Akshay and Kumar, that means two strings are there, so it will automatically call the first method, and it will concatenate the value accordingly. Here you can see the sum is 5 for the first calling statement, and for the second calling statement, method calling statement, we are having this string Akshay Kumar. So this is the example of the operator overloading. It's a very simple example. You can try, you can check the output in the link. Method overriding. That is another feature of object-oriented programming, and it's coming under runtime polymorphism. It is also known as dynamic method dispatch, and it is a process in which a method called to the overridden method is resolved at runtime. This type of polymorphism is achieved by method overriding. So method overriding, on the other hand, occurs when a derived class has a definition for one of the member methods of these base classes. That base method is said to be overridden. So here you can see in the example, the shape class has a method draw, and it has three subclasses: square class, circle class, hexagon class, and each of the classes has again draw method. So one thing I have to tell you, that if base class and derived class both has the same method name, same methods, in that case derived class will have higher preference, like user is calling draw, so the method within the derived class will respond first. instead of the method of the base class. Here you can see the example. In the example, we have a class parent, and within that you can see only one line is written. It's printing parent class. And there are subclasses, two subclasses. One is subclass 1, which is actually inheriting the property of the parent, and it has one print. It has a print method similar to the parent class. In the parent class also there is print method. Here in the subclass 1 there is a print method, and this print method is printing subclass 1. And another class is there, subclass 2, which is also inheriting the property of the parent class, and it has print print method, and it's printing subclass 2. Now in the main method, we are creating an object A from the parent class, and A is equal to new subclass 1. That means this is a constructor line. The object A is constructed in this or initialized in this line. Now object A is calling this method print. But now subclass 1 has a print, and its parent class, it has also a print. But since the method of the derived class has the higher preference than the method of the base class, it will call the method of the derived class. So in the output you can see subclass 1 is printed because it's the method of the derived class. Again, the same object is initialized to the subclass 2. This is another constructor line. Now this same object is constructed or initialized for subclass 2, and that object is again calling print. So same situation. Now at this position, the subclass has its own print, and the parent class has its print method, but two copies are there. But the derived copy of the method which is there in the derived class will have higher dominance than the method of the parent class, and that's why the method in the derived class will be called, and as a result subclass 2 is printed. Here you can see the output. So this is method overriding. It is a special feature of Java programming or object-oriented programming. So there is always a debate overloading and overriding. So this is the page where you can see the comparison in between overloading and overriding. Overloading deals with multiple methods in the same class with the same name but different signatures. Overloading has same name but different signatures. That means either parameters are different or type of the parameters are different. Number of parameters may be different, or type of the type may be different. So you have seen it in the example. On the other hand, overriding deals with two methods, one in a parent class and one in a child class, that have the same signature. So that is the common difference between overloading and overriding. Coming to the second point, overloading lets you define a similar operation in different ways for different data. On the other hand, overriding lets you define a similar operation in different ways for different object types. So that is a clear difference or the comparison between overloading and overriding. Now we are coming to the next topic. It's abstract classes. Java allows abstract classes. This is a special classifier, access modifier, you can say, access modifier, which is always written before the class definition. Suppose there is a class vehicle. So before that, if we write abstract, so automatically it will be an abstract class. An abstract class is a placeholder in a class hierarchy that represents a generic concept. So only for making the inheritance in proper order, abstract class is declared. But in abstract, from abstract class, will not create any object or anything. So here, suppose this vehicle, out of that 3 mode classes are there. This car, boat, and plane subclasses, all these subclasses will inherit the properties of vehicle, but vehicle will be inactive class or abstract class. Example, if we see, here vehicle is the abstract class, and let me tell you one thing. Abstract class may have non-abstract method as well as abstract method. So there are 2 types of methods within the abstract class. Here you can see non-abstract method, public string getName, which is returning a name. This is non-abstract method, that means it is a body. But another method is there, move, abstract public void move, but it is just closed here. You can see the semicolon. It has no body. So this is the abstract method without any body. So these are the composition of the abstract class. What are the rules for abstract classes? First of all, an abstract class must be declared with an abstract keyword. Yes, it's very much true. We have seen it. It can have abstract and non-abstract methods. Yes, that is also there in the example we have seen it. It cannot be instantiated. That means from an abstract class, no object can be created. 4th point, it can have final methods. That means whatever methods are there within the abstract class, that cannot be modified in other parts of the program. Once it is written, that means it's final. It will be just a blueprint of the class. The 5th point, it can have constructors and static methods also. So this is as usual, it's similar to any other classes. Now we are coming to another slide. Here we are comparing abstract class and interface. Interface is another feature of object-oriented programming, and especially in Java programming, interface is used very much. So, and there is often a difference between these two and a debate between this abstract class and interface. So that's why this comparison slide is also important for you people. Here you can see abstract class where keyword used, abstract, and when interface is used, that means it will become automatically an interface. Type of variable, static and non-static variable can be used in abstract class, and in interface, only static variable will be used. Access modifier, all access modifiers can be used like private, protected, and public in abstract class, but only public access modifier can be used in case of interface. If we are very much concerned about the speed of the programming, abstract class is faster than the interface. And when to use abstract class? When we want to avoid independence, abstract class is used. And when we have a plan to extend the program, then interface is used. So that's all about our class 4. Thanking you all for viewing this video. We'll have 2 more classes on this unit. So within a short period of time, I will upload your next 2 videos. Thanking you. for viewing this video.